Fellow Toastmasters and guests, Assalamu alaikum. How are you doing today? Good. All good? Yes. All right. On behalf of the Rawalpindi Toastmasters Club, I warmly welcome everyone to the 128th meeting of Toastmasters Club Rawalpindi. Before moving on, take out your mobiles, please switch it off or put it on silent mode so that we can be able to run a smooth meeting without any distraction. Now moving on to the motto of the Toastmasters Club. I request everyone to please stand up for a while and repeat the motto after me. For better listening. For better listening. For better thinking. Thank you so much. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, how many of you agree that the Toastmasters Club is one of the wonderful platforms to learn to become a great speaker? Say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Become a great communicator?
Yes.
And ultimately, an effective leader. Same with you.
How many of you want to become the champion of public speaking? Almost everyone. And my next question is, what are you exactly doing to become the champion of public speaking? Anyone can share their views on that. And what are you doing to become the champion? Yeah, please.
Regularly attending Toastmasters meetings.
Anyone else?
Yes. Watching different programs online.
Correct. Very nice. So let me share a story of my real life. When I was in metric, I had so much passion to become a bodybuilder. And with this passion, I decided to join the gym. But my elder brother stopped me and said, Hassan, don't go to gym at this age because if you will go to gym, your height will stop. A typical myth that we used to listen to at that time. But I never stopped because I was so much passionate about bodybuilding that I joined the gym. I did workout. I used to go to the gym every single day, lift some weights, building muscles, and now I'm in front of you with these big guns. But the question is, if I stopped at that time after listening to my brother that would go to gym, I would not have this physique which I'm having right now. And the purpose of sharing this story is to tell you that becoming the champion of public speaking is not that easy. I can link that with my bodybuilding journey because you have to spend some extra hours. You have to learn new skills to become the champion. And the reason why I'm actually discussing this today is because there is a contest coming after almost 2 months ahead of us. In November, we have 2 contests, and in the summer, we have 2 contests. So normally the contests are for 4 types of contests: tall contest, prepared speech contest, then evaluation contest, and then tall contest. And for that, I think if you want to become the champion of these 4 contests, you need to start grinding from today. Because I have bigger present, I have a dream that we all should prepare ourselves for these contests and aim to learn to become to actually nail these contests. Because it's all about the winner mindset. When I prepared for my speech, I prepared with the mindset of being at the top. And whatever speeches I have won in this club in the past, I prepared those speeches with the mindset of a winner, and I nailed those speeches. So I want everyone to start preparing for the contest from today, so that at that time we will actually be the winners. We should have winners from our for those contests. With this, I would like to announce the winners of the last meeting. So for the prepared speaker, it was Toastmaster Akash. So a round of applause for Toastmaster. Speaker was DTM Oman. A round of applause for Oman. And the best evaluator was again DTM Oman. So a round of applause for Oman. And for a big three, we had Toastmaster Oman. For that. With this, yeah. So first we have our guest, Toastmaster Anam. I mean, you become the member, but would you like to just share a thought with us or your introduction, please? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Jaz, and I have attended 3 sessions of Toastmasters.
We have a lot of online guests today, so I would like to take the question part from Qasim Shah. Qasim, can you hear me? Sorry, Time Shah. Time Shah, can you hear me?
I'm Syed Qaim Ali Shah. Thank you so much. I am hearing you nice. Yes, please. Can I speak some, or would you like to continue? Can you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry, I can't hearing you.
Rehana, can you confirm us if you can hear me?
I think there is some problem with your internet or my internet, and I'm not hearing you properly. Can you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Rehana is taking care of her. TM Rehana, can you hear us?
Yes, Toastmaster Saira, I can hear you and I can hear Toastmaster Mubashir.
That is fine.
We have another guest, Rahi Javed. Rahi, can you please introduce yourself? Can you hear me? Rahim, can you hear me? I can see Raja Galaxy J4. Raja, can you hear me? You're muted. We can't hear you. Raja, you're muted.
You're on mute.
I think we have some technical problem. We have started.
Hello.
Yes, Raja, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Toast
Please speak it again. Sorry, I can't.
side disruption.
Yeah, something like a.
We can hear you. You can carry on.
Kindly you may repeat your question. I don't got that. Maybe don't get something like that gone.
That's okay. For we, as you know, we have introduced some new sessions in the every meeting to educate you on pathways and to educate you on the importance of the Toastmasters. For today, we have conducted another session on importance of being a Toastmaster or importance of becoming a Toastmaster. For that, I would like to call Toastmaster Shrey on the stage to come and let us know about the importance of being a Toastmaster. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmasters, for giving me this opportunity. So just let me begin. How many of you have experienced that Toastmaster has added value in your life? Yes. Just for the sake of the guests, just let me answer this question. Toastmaster adds value in your life. It helps you to become a better communicator, a better leader, and a great storyteller. But the question is that how Toastmaster does this? Toastmaster provides positive, encouraging environment, yet challenging, to bring the best version out of you, to nurture your skills. So for the rest of the meeting, you're going to witness the positive energy of all the Toastmasters that will help you to break the ice of your shyness, and that will help you to express your ideas freely. We as a human learn better when we do the stuff in our community. Being the VP membership, I am working to bring the new guests and members. In this regard, I would need your support. If you see the people in your offices, in your
ये क्या लगाया हुआ है इन्होंने? बहुत ज्यादा हुआ करता था। पूरा दिन सुबह से लेकर शाम तक इसी तरह ही है, इनके बंद ही हो गए। हेलो
Toastmaster Hassan, I cannot hear you people.
Hello, we can't hear you. No connection is coming. No sound, nothing.
I can hear Junaid.
Let me convey to Hassan. Or Saira. Probably that camera is disconnected. Oh, Hassan there?
ये 7 को होते थे, 6 का तो उनका था, बरी का ना 7 का उनका।
राजा साहब, आप काइंडली म्यूट कर लेंगे?
It muted. It's already muted. It's muted.
Toastmasters, yes. How many of you have ever been stressed out in your life? Raise your hands. Oh my God, doing me. It's obvious that everyone in many situations sometimes stressed out due to some obvious reasons. Stress is harmful and very dangerous at some point of time. But at the same time, stress is our friend, is helpful because it pushes you towards achieving your goals under some pressure. The theme of today's meeting is stress management, and we talk about We'll talk about stress definitions. Yes. Secondly, we'll talk about stress related problem by life skill. Let's see how can we explore the stress and then related factors. A stable state of mind in such a way. There are several definitions to this term, but we are hardly unable to find exact definition of stress. But I found one definition for you, which is very simple. Standard. That is, stress means your body's response to real or imagined dangers or other life events. Right? Stress is all about your reaction to some situation, whether it is positive or in other terms it's negative. So it all depends upon your personality, your reaction to the situation. So it's stress. Sometimes we stress about real stuff. That is real danger, you see something else and you stress out as a result of that event. And sometimes we stress about stuff that is not real or has not even happened yet. Imagine. We imagine something else. For example, somebody else is preparing herself or himself for prepared speech, but the time is very near and he or she stressed out because of that event. She or he imagined that event as stressful. So that creates stress. Various life events can stress us out. Sometimes it's one big major event, and sometimes we got some small repeated events. So these all are factors associated with the term stress. There are two different types of stress. One is positive stress, and the second one is negative stress. Positive stress can also call as eustress. Eustress is a Greek word which means eu means good, and stress means it's good stress. How is it positive? Positive life events can actually lead to stressful situations. I think you experience something positive in your life that cause at the end of the day stress. For example, we'll see some examples. Winning the lottery, you win a lottery and suddenly you stressed out. That's positive stress. And getting a new job, getting married, sometimes it's stressful situation, but in a positive way. Learning to drive, a big sports event, getting impact. Any other examples besides these? Any positive? Is it positive? Is it positive stress? Okay. It's part of your learning. So at the end of the day, you are going to learn something. For example. And the second stress type is distress or negative stress. All sorts of negative life events can ultimately lead to stressful situations. Let's see some examples. Family problems, moving to a new school, argue with a friend, someone you care about dies, fired from work, getting in a fight, you get a severe illness, and going to the dentist is really scary. How many of you agree? How many of you have ever been to see a dentist to fix your teeth? We'll talk about this theme later on during the meeting. Let's see how those stuff mean rolls up. The first one is session in which the Toastmaster, table topics master, will randomly call anyone of us for a random topic to speak on for 1 to 2 minutes time. The timer will show you 3 different parts. At 1 minute time, the timer will show you the green part. At 1.5 minutes time, timer will show you the yellow part. And at 2 minutes time, the red card will be shown to you. And after that, 30 seconds time will be given to you as grace period to wrap up your speech. Failing to reach the time this point. And second segment is about prepared speakers, in which the prepared speakers will deliver the speeches based on their pathways and projects. And this followed by the last segment, which is evaluation and feedback session, in which our wonderful evaluators will evaluate the whole meeting, including the speakers, to give their feedback and insight on interview. Are you excited about the first segment? Yes, development segment. Let's move on to, before this, our role players. Without our role players, the meeting cannot be done smoothly. The first role player is timer. Timer, can you please explain your role?
In my role is a timer and to monitor everyone's time. Prepare speeches, topic speeches, or general evaluation, defining evaluation. I'm going to get a time of every person.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Good evening. I am grammarian, and the word of the day today is flabbergasted. It means in utter amazement or in utter shock. I will be noticing the use of this word today in speeches and the conversation. Along with that, I will also be looking at the good and bad use of grammar, and I'll be presenting my observations at the end.
That's one and then the big code and the you may ask to vote on the voting slips and I will collect the people who are qualified. Thank you, Toastmaster. Both there is our counter. Toastmaster Sweet, can you explain your Toastmaster?
Today I will perform the role of our counter. I will listen very carefully, mention the say are, who, and so. And the prediction of many French words such as euro and I. I will raise some very related to make them aware of what
Overall possible, yes. Let's move to the first segment of this meeting. Event topic session. For this, I'm like to request one of our amazing, versatile, and intelligent Toastmasters learning.
Assalamualaikum everyone. It's good to be back. I'm here after I guess 4 weeks for a whole month. First it was my paper, and then I got a small operation. That's why I was not here. So I'm back now. I being the table topic master. I could relate the theme of the meeting. But when I sat down writing the topics down for stress management, they were becoming very boring. So I thought, okay, let's keep that aside. And these topics are based on your imagination, how much you can imagine, how far you can take it, how much exaggeration you can put into each topic. And that exaggeration, that imagination will help you in your stress management. So I couldn't prepare slides because I was told yesterday. So that's why I'm here with written questions. And I will start with Toastmaster Akash, you are not the president now, so I can call you on the stage and speaker. I'll start the question. I always start with my now. Which movie don't you like? Any movie you don't like? You hate that movie. Or just tell me the movie name. This is not your question. This is not your question. Any movie, like, I like any movie that you do. You said it's waste of time. Why did I watch this movie?
It's Toastmaster Daniel.
Okay, you have to convince the audience to watch that movie.
Okay. My fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum. One of my friends asked me that Toastmaster Akash, do you watch movies? Do you watch dramas? I said, yes, I did it every day. I watch my face in the mirror. So you can say that I'm the biggest drama. So my fellow Toastmasters, have you ever witnessed or have you ever enjoyed the biggest drama of Rawalpindi Toastmasters Club? That is none other than Toastmaster Daniel. So you might be thinking that why he's a drama? He's a drama because he used to do a lot of drama in his speech. And he is the source of entertainment for all of us. Now you might be thinking that drama might be a negative word, but why I'm saying that this person is a drama? Because he brings smile on our face. His dramatic speeches, due to his dramatic expressions. And whenever we go home, we cherish his speeches. We cherish his smile. How many of you remember? Are you still jumping to the conclusion? So my fellow Toastmaster, keep enjoying the drama Toastmasters.
Move on to our next speaker. I'll speak a little bit louder. Unfortunately, Okay, not unfortunately, sorry. Calling the next speaker, let's have Toastmaster Anas. Scientists have discovered that there is life on Mars. Aliens. What do you think they are?
Thank you so much, Mr. Table Topic Master. Distinguished guests and fellow Toastmasters, I have been given a very interesting topic. Really, I am very much into such news that what is happening around the world, what is happening in the field of science, but of technological advancement. But frankly speaking, I'm absolutely Daniel is talking about. But let's assume that it is true. And let's assume that there are some species living on Mars. Frankly, I would love to know what they are doing exactly, but let's guess. And for that, I would like to have some suggestions from two of you. Anyone? Yes.
They're having a Toastmaster meeting right now.
Okay.
Yes.
They will be growing some fruits and vegetables because they have to sustain there.
That is so right. Anyone else?
They are finding ways to fight against the pandemic corona.
Oh, that is true. Now, these are few suggestions, and you never know. Some of these might actually be true. But if we look objectively, if there's some species, definitely they need some source of energy, they might need some sort of food, and they definitely will have some sort of activity. You don't simply have food, you will have to go and fetch them. And probably when we actually go on Mars and when we will have these missions, probably we go and realize that there is some creatures. There is actually life on Mars and it might astonish us. Let's wait and see.
Lena for letting us know that the COVID has reached Mars. In continent, let's have any four Toastmasters. Akash, Amish, Salman, and Saran. Okay. Now, the four he named, give one word to him, and he has to make a story out of those four words. First, Toastmaster Akash. Toastmaster Anas. Motivation. Toastmaster Salman.
Okay, thank you. So one day, Hassan was doing some search on web, and he found a club called Toastmasters. He read it, and he was under the impression that these people make toast for each other. And since I'm a foodie, I love toast, so I thought to join and see, learn the recipe of making the toast. But when I joined the club, I realized with public speaking, it helps you with leadership skills. So I joined the club, and guess what? I am the president today. I am heading a group of people. I'm blessed to have a great team, and I'm learning from them. They're learning from me. So that's the Toastmaster, then motivation. I got so much energy, and now I'm standing in front of you. Thank you so much.
Your members love you, they didn't make it hard for you. If I was there, I would have taken one word from this dictionary, another word from that dictionary. And let's called Toastmasters. You have to complete this story. Toastmaster Hassan is stuck at a supermarket and then, okay. Thank you, Chief Puppet Master Daniel. Welcome back to the club after a long time. Toastmaster Hassan is stuck at the supermarket. I'm not sure that how to make a biryani. So he was trying to find an ingredient. He called me, and as you all know that I'm a really good chef. So I helped him get all the stuff needed for the biryani. I told him that first you need rice, and he said he already has rice at home. So I said, okay, fine. You get spices, biryani packs are available in Shan and National Masala. Get that, and you might be having chicken aroma already. He said yes. And I told him, how many guests are you expecting? He said 8 to 10 people. So I told him, okay, you need to buy some yogurt to make raita and buy some drink for your friends. And you can also buy some desserts and take pudding powder from there. He said, yeah, I didn't like that idea. And he bought pudding powder, paid the bill, and back home. Which means thank you so much for sponsorship here. Definitely need a biryani made of your hands. Let's continue. I think we have time for one or two more. So can I have the sponsor? Which season do you like most and why?
Okay, as you asked me that which season you like the most. There are so many seasons I'm watching nowadays. And I think so it is difficult to decide which one. Because each season has a different story and I follow their time. As nowadays, I am watching a typical and I'm also watching Indian. I like the story of Indian. What's the reason for that? Because it is about teenagers. And when I watch that season, I learn the problems of teenagers. What do they feel? What are their fears? And what do they want to achieve in life? Apart from that, I have also learned that the school, it portrays the whole world. There are fears, there are expectations, revenge, and money. I would like to recommend all of you to watch that. And if you want to watch funny seasons, then go for Friends. You will love that. It's about friends, how to spend time, and it's full of fun. Thank you so much.
Such an amazing response. And let's follow faster review. The side of you nobody knows. It can be the truth or a lie. No, no. We have to guess at the end that you are doing the truth or a lie. Just make something about yourself. It can be a truth.
Right. So, thank you, Toastmaster Daniel. And today, Toastmaster Daniel has given me a topic. And he has given me the choice to select between the truth and the lie. Then there can be a difference between the truth and the lie, but then there are many lies which are true for the people and many truths which are lies for the people. And he has asked me to make a story about myself, and at the end, let the audience guess whether it is the truth or it is a lie. It's a very challenging task because maybe what I'm telling you is absolute truth, or maybe it's an absolute lie. Anyway, let me tell you about myself, like my experience of joining the Toastmasters Club as a challenge, or as a part of grooming myself, as a part of improving my personality. I took up music lessons, and it was a strange experience. I'm a music lover. I'm very fond of music. And I not only like to listen to music, I also like to play music. And I was very fond of playing, guess which instrument? Just guess.
Tabla.
Tabla, piano, guitar,
Violin.
violin. Anybody else? Yes? Sitar. Anybody else? Okay, let me tell you. I was very fond of, and I am still very fond of playing dholak, which is very easily available. And I thought it would be the easiest instrument which I could play, and the person who would teach me would not charge me anything. But the truth of the matter is that when I approached that dholak player, and mind you, they are professional dholak players, not the ones sitting on the roadsides with the yellow and pink turbans, but they are accomplished dholak players with the red turbans also. They asked so much amount in lakhs of rupees. I decided not to learn dholak. Thank you very much. Over to you.
You can have 4 more.
5:18.
5:20.
Let's have someone from the online audience. I will sign note because we are having some difficulty, but I think it is fine now. So can I have Toastmaster Cyril? Can you hear me?
Yes, Toastmaster Danyal, I can hear you.
You went to the future and you took a lamp with you, an old lamp. How would you convince them that this was used in the past?
I'm sorry, I lost you. I couldn't understand. Can you repeat? Can you please come closer to the phone? Yeah.
Same topic.
Okay. You have gone to the future with an object from the past that is a lamp, an old lamp. You have to convince them that this is an object from the past.
Okay, okay. Let me just repeat it. And I have gone into the future with an object from the past, and I have to convince them that it's an object from the past.
That's correct.
Okay. An old lamp. More like a lantern, something, not an electronic lamp, right? I can't see you or hear you. I'm so sorry. There's a lot of distortion today.
Imagination.
Okay, okay, okay. So I thank you, Toastmaster Danyal, for giving me a confusing topic, I'll say. And good evening, everyone. So what I could make out of the topic, I think I've gone into the future with a lamp, and I have to convince the people that this lamp is from the past. So I think what I'll take with me would be a lantern. And people in the future, I think I'm way too much in the future, and they're not even light bulbs anymore, and you just have light into some lights fixed into the walls. When you enter the room, there are pressure pads, and when you enter the room, there's just weight on the floor, and the lights from the walls just come through. So maybe those people would have a really hard time understanding that there were objects into the past specifically used to illuminate a room. So what I would do is that I would give a practical demonstration of how the light used to be illuminated through that lamp. And they might have a hard time believing that we had to go through a lot of trouble, and we had to use the oil to actually light it up. So I think that's it. And thank you, Toastmaster Danyal.
and the job is for a ghost killer. You have to convince them that you are the best person for this job.
Thank you, Toastmasters and Yas, for giving me this opportunity. The topic that given to me that all the new people are about to give me a job for a ghost killer. So I have to convince them that I'm the best killer for a ghost. So the few suggestions that is coming to my mind that you can say like I was very you say that I was very energetic and excited in a childhood, and that's why I was energetic. And the one thing that I can do to leave the ghost for the house is you can play the loud music that can annoy them. And is that one of the suggestions? The second, you can make them friends because you in the lockdown period you are like alone, so you can if the some cause that maybe that you can ask your kid to play with them, and somehow that can make that somehow you can like they can also that make the time your kid pass. So that's the two suggestions. That is the two things that I will suggest if you can hire me for this. Over to you.
It's time it's the new session and the time of the report are all the speakers qualified.
Surprisingly, this time, only TM Akash has exceeded the time period of 2 minutes 33 seconds. And all other candidates are, follow the criteria of timing of the killer.
Can you please name them who are qualified?
Yes, TMLS has spoken for 2 minutes 7 seconds. And TMNS, TM Hassan, TM Umar, TM Anam, TM Amina, TM Sarah, TM Suhaib, all of them have all qualified for the paper.
Please vote and vote for this. Minute keep it everyone and after that
Let's take a short break for 10 minutes, networking break, and then we'll get back to the meeting. Thank you.
What's option? पूरे टाइम भूल जाएंगे।
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, welcome back. How was the refreshment today? You enjoyed the refreshment? With tea?
Yes.
Thank you. We went to the presentation. The established notion is stress is a universal phenomenon. It cannot any point of time you can face stress. According to some statistics worldwide, people around the world face stress. They fall into the category of stress. And around 284 people in this world, they have anxiety disorder. These are some of the statistics on certain research and studies around the world. There are few nations which have been reported as stressed nations, and unfortunately Pakistan is among them. The rest of the countries like United States of America, Maldives, Rwanda, certain African countries, Turkey, they all fall under the stress category. They are the nations with high stress, according to some studies. Let's move on to some other slides. Let's talk about some health problems if we fail to manage the stress in our lives. What happens? Unmanaged stress can lead to headaches, upset stomach, and ulcers. High blood pressure, back pain, sleeping problems, or disease.
बैक पेन के बारे में बता रहे हैं.
Unable to mentally focus, socially irritable, relationship problems, job problems, and feelings of anger, anxiety, sadness, and depression, and drug and alcohol abuse. You see, these are some of the symptoms of stress. If we put ourselves in negative stress, they can lead us to these factors, these symptoms. These are very dangerous for our health. So try to restrain yourself from these symptoms so that you can be healthy in your life. Let's move on to we'll talk about this, how can we manage stress. For this, let's move on to the next segment of this meeting, which is prepared speeches session. And we have amazing speakers lined up. We have got 4 prepared speakers. So let me invite the first speaker, who has improved tremendously. She is already a speaker, as we can see her communication skills is marvelous. Toastmaster Amrina, and her speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Hassan. Toastmaster Hassan, can I request you to please explain the objective and purpose of
The purpose of this project of the member is to identify his or own cultural identities, compare it with cultural identities of some other country or maybe region, and share the comparison.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akram. Thank you. The floor is yours, Toastmaster Amrina.
Gracias, Toastmasters Advanced. Hoy han hablado una cultura que es muy similar es la mía. Can you guess which language did I speak? I can give you some clues. Just a minute. I'll give you some clues, but I managed to show that. Left and right. I'm giving you some clues. See, you said Greek. Okay. Anybody else?
Portuguese.
Greek.
Spanish.
Spanish.
It is Spanish. Anam has the advantage. She knew that she already knew that I heard Spanish. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about Spanish, Spanish language and Spanish culture. And well, we can think that Spanish is just a language spoken in Spain, which is one country which is located in the southwest of Europe.
But there are many other countries where Spanish language is spoken. So widely spoken language. Can you guess in which countries is Spanish spoken? Just make a guess.
Mexico.
Mexico, very right. Anybody else? Where is Spanish spoken? Obviously, it's spoken in Spain. This is the region from where it has spread out in the world. Take a wild guess, doesn't matter.
Denmark.
You said Denmark. Hungary. Anybody else? Cuba. Cuba, very right. Let me show you the number of countries where it is spoken, and quite right, Toastmaster Umar, it is spoken in Mexico, which is in North America. It is spoken throughout the Central America. Cuba is in Central America, Costa Rica, Ecuador, Honduras, Panama. They are all the countries in Central America. Then it is spoken in the whole continent of South America. So you can see Argentina, Paraguay, Peru, Colombia, Chile, Bolivia, Uruguay, all these countries, they lie in South America where it is spoken. Even in Brazil, which is the biggest country in South America, it is the second language. So I will talk about not only Spanish language, but also the Spanish culture. Now, when I was a child, as a child, I thought that people in Spain, they all perform this dance, which is called Flamingo. Not Flamingo, Flamingo is the name of a bird, Flamingo. So I thought everybody knew Flamingo dance and everybody danced Flamingo. Then the second thing I thought about Spain was everybody indulged in bullfighting. Everywhere, all the time, people were bullfighting. And I believe that all the buildings in Spain, they look like that magnificent palace built by the Muslim kings, Alhambra. So these were my stereotypes about Spain as a child. Let me show you flamenco dances. You can watch videos also. This is just one picture of flamenco dance. You might see them in Indian movies also. The Indian actors and actresses, they are performing flamenco dance. Then if you have watched the film, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, you must have seen people bullfight, watching bullfighting also. This is a scene from bullfighting. And I believe all men in Spain, the country called Spain, they are bullfighting. And then this is one view of that magnificent palace called. So this was my belief long time back. I used to think that Spain is all about flamenco, bullfighting, and Alhambra. But then things started changing. In 2002, I started reading books on Spanish literature. And then in 2010, I started learning Spanish language. Fortunately, my teachers of Spanish language, they were all native Spanish speakers. One was from Spain, another was from Peru, a third one was from Argentina, a fourth one was from Bolivia. Now, these are the countries which practice Spanish culture. So I had an insight through these people, through this first-hand experience of meeting the people who speak Spanish language, what they do, how do they perform their cultural rites. Anyway, another thing which happened was that I started reading books, which I started a long time back. 3 writers contributed a lot in my learning about Spanish culture. And these 3 writers were Federico Garcia Lorca, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and Isabel Allende. So when I read their books, I found that Spanish culture is not what I think. There are many other things in Spanish culture. And with that, I realized there are 3 points of similarity between Pakistani culture, generally speaking, and overall the South Asian culture and the Spanish culture. And these 3 points are that I will just show you the picture of these 3 guys. This is Federico Garcia Lorca, Isabel Allende, and this old man is Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Anyway, the 3 points which I found of the points of similarity were siesta, patio, and family. Can anybody guess what is siesta?
The nap that we take in the afternoon.
Exactly. It is a short nap which we take in the afternoon. And this is very common in Spain or in countries where people speak Spanish, because like Pakistan, they are countries which kind have hot climate. So obviously, people have to take a nap in the afternoon to avoid the heat of the afternoon. What about Pakyu? Can anybody tell me what is Pakyu? Exactly, it is a indoor courtyard, like we have in our conventional houses. Let me show you the picture of a Pakyu. This is a very modern Pakyu, but Spanish houses or places where Spanish language is spoken, people build houses with patios or inner courtyards. So this is again a point of similarity. But the third and the most important point of similarity is the family. The families in Spanish-speaking cultures, they are very similar to the families in our culture, in Pakistani culture. And if you look at the names of these writers, their books indicate that they are all about stories of families. 100 Years of Solitude, the story of 4 generations of a family. The House of Bernarda Alba, again the story of a family. And then The House of Spirits, story of a family. So they are also family-oriented people like us. I believe if you study Spanish literature or learn Spanish language, you will find out more points of similarity. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Veda. That was marvelous speech. With Spanish. Back to the presentation. Stress management. Anybody else right now stressed out due to some reason? Next, prepared speech. Yeah. Yes, please. Pain. Pain of what? Right? All okay? Your voice of stress. Okay. How many of you agree that stress can be eliminated? Can we eliminate stress from our life? Yes. We can eliminate.
We can pretend.
Yeah. So work out, we can ignore it down.
You can learn to manage that stress.
There isn't anybody else in this world who can eliminate stress from his life, whether you are in childhood until you elderly. You cannot eliminate stress because stress is something we can only control it. We can reduce it to some extent to become a happy person in our lives. And there are thousands of books have been written on this topic, stress management, but nobody has come up with some tangible solutions to manage this stress. But few tips are workable. And I will say it again, it's all about your reaction to your stressful events. So let's quickly look at ways how can we manage stress. I have got a few tips. Who is here? Johnny Brown. Johnny Brown. Few tips to see we cannot eliminate the stress. Don't worry about things we cannot control, because it's not in our hands. We cannot control everything, but it's something we can control. If you can't change it or control it, will worrying about health?
No.
No. Because we are human beings. We make mistakes. Something obviously are out of our control. But stress is above all that cannot be eliminated. Secondly, keep your sense of humor. I'm referring to Toastmaster Akash. He has got much sense of humor. We can learn from him while doing topics and other streams. Sometimes you need to laugh at crazy things that happen in life. You have to laugh, smile. At the end of the day, you can reduce your stress to some extent. Ask for help from family, friends, and other when you need it. You see, asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of maturity and growth. We sometimes reluctant to say something, to seek help from our friends, from our loved ones, because of something in our minds. That is our ego. Our ego stops us from seeking help from somebody else, or friends, or other family members. So we'll talk about these factors which can be helpful for us to manage stress better. Now moving on to our next amazing speaker, this great speaker, is also improved tremendously in a short period of time with us in this Toastmasters Club. He's Toastmaster Umar Hussain, and his speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Sir Girani. Toastmaster Sir Girani, can you hear us?
Yes, Toastmaster Salman.
Please explain the objective and purpose of speech of Toastmaster Umar Hussain.
Yes, Toastmaster Umar will be giving a speech on healthy lifestyle, and the purpose of his project is to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized and well-researched speech on any topic of his own choice. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster sir. Over to you, Toastmaster Umar Hussain. Battlefield is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster baby. How many of you are doing regular exercise, any physical activity, games? Excellent. Those who are Toastmasters, very energetic and positive mind people. For Toastmasters and distinguished, there are more than 50 people on average are dying in Pakistan within 1 hour, as per the WHO report, because of a heart diseases. And if we convert this value 24-hour basis, will be flabbergasted. The figure comes to 1,200 people a day. The most common disease is ischemic heart disease, which is also known as coronary artery disease. Pakistan is the 5th most populous country in the world, as per atlas.com. And we are considered nation of young people, because more than 65% people are below the age of 35 in Pakistan. If this is the case, then what are the reasons that we have this high mortality rate because of the heart disease? Anyone?
Cigarette smoking, diabetes, hypertension.
High blood pressure, diabetes, and lack of exercise. This all comes to one thing.
Physical inactivity.
We need to have a healthy lifestyle, because if you just improve your diet and you start taking salads and you're having a salad at late night by 11 p.m. and going to bed by 2 a.m. in the morning and getting up late, you will still be prone to the disease, and especially heart disease. Because your lifestyle really matters. It starts from your sleeping patterns, your mind, your exercise, what you eat, and how you work. To improve our lifestyle, in addition to the food that we take, it also depends on the exercise, how much we do, and what kind of exercises we are doing. Nowadays, you will notice that we don't even go from grocery buying to the nearby areas or houses, walking or use bicycles. Many years ago, when I used to go in school, we had a long, big area for cycle stands, and we used to try and get our cycles out of the jumble that used to be made there because of too many cycles. There was less place to park the bicycle. But now, even students are taking motorbike to the university. So our lifestyle is no more there. I will highlight, they are very common, I'll go through really fast. The exercises we have are cardio, very common, walk, jogging, swimming, cycling, hiking, and the resistance training is the three days that we do in the gym. I'll focus more that how could we achieve maximum benefit in a minimum time period. And for that, we need to start high intensity interval training. It involves short period of intense exercise followed by a recovery or HIIT is a way of doing exercise which could be done in all sorts of cardio exercises. This diagram is explained by healthline.com that if you are doing swimming in normal way and if you follow the HIIT version, you swim for 200 meters and dash for 1 minute. So basically, you can do it in all exercises, but you have to you need to raise your heart rate. Because if you have noticed, you might have noticed that many people are walking every day for years, but they still have their tummy out and they don't do account because they don't raise their heart rate. When you raise your heart rate, your cells they stay younger for longer period, and that really matters. There is a study as per European Heart Journal, which recommends that you need to make a combo of cardio as well as high intensity interval training, because these workouts raise your heart rate and keep your cells younger for a longer period of time. And how researchers determine this, they measure the structures around chromosomes or the caps of chromosomes which are called telomeres. When your heart rate goes up, the telomeres get lengthened. The caps of chromosomes they get lengthened, and the enzyme telomeres that involves in maintaining those caps increases. The third thing that happens when you have high heart rate, these workouts stimulate the nitric oxide in the blood, which increases the blood flow and reduces the blood pressure. So it reduces the blood pressure. There is a survey done by the German researchers where they distributed 124 healthy adults in 4 groups. All adults were healthy, but they were inactive. One group was made based on the people who were not supposed to do any exercise for 26 weeks, and the rest 3 groups had to exercise 3 times a week with 45-minute session. The third group, those 3 groups, the first group was supposed to do cardio, the second was to do resistance exercises, and the third group was to do high intensity interval training. These are the results that were found after the research that people who did no exercises or just did resistance exercises, their telomeres were not lengthened. But the people who did cardio and high intensity, their telomeres were lengthened. And by lengthening of telomeres means their arteries and their veins were less prone to the heart diseases. They will get aged but slowly. Okay. These are the resources that I used in my speech. Next, I will show my own pictures, and I will share that as a Toastmasters, we all come here and help each other, motivate each other. We could improve our health by joining groups like this for cycling and running and gym. These are groups available on social media. You can join and improve your health.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rawalpindi, for such a wonderful speech. May Allah save us from cardiovascular and heart disease. Amen. Okay, going back to stress management. You see, cardiovascular and heart disease is one of the causes of stress. Toastmaster Rawalpindi has just mentioned stress leads to cardiovascular and heart disease. So be careful about stress. The next way that we try getting involved in sports, hobbies, or social events. You can have fun, be with your friends, be with people, so that you can get out of the stress. Eat well-balanced, nutritious meals, and get enough sleep and stress and rest. Have well-balanced, nutritious food, get enough sleep. Practice good time management skills. That's one of the very important skills, important factors that can reduce your stress level. Be on time, do not procrastinate. And last but not the least, consider exercise, yoga, stretching, meditation, and other relaxation techniques. These are all some of the remedies and ways to manage your stress. Whenever you feel yourself in a stressful situation, you can refer to these ways to manage your stress. So that at the end of the day, you can find yourself out of stressful situation. With this, let me move on to the third prepared speech. And for this, I would like to invite another amazing Toastmaster Rabia Tariq. And her speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Rawalpindi. Can I request you to please explain the objective and purpose of Toastmaster Rabia Tariq's speech? It's up to you. Wherever you talk to.
Third speech from level 5 perspective. The project focuses on applying skills needed to easily volunteer organization. It's a 5 to 7 minute speech, which she will be reflecting on personal experience of serving in leadership.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Over to you, Toastmaster Rabia Tariq, and best of luck.
Thank you, Toastmaster Salman. Am I audible, clear, visible, and are my slides visible? Am I okay to go?
You are audible, visible, and you are
good to go. Okay, just a minute. How many of you have noticed that recently I have started using the phrase that I have come out of my shell? Oh, yes. Thank you, Toastmaster Akash and Toastmaster Amrina, I guess. It is said that when you come out of your shell, great things happen to you. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, today I'll raise the curtain. I've been a Toastmaster for past 1.5 years, and Toastmaster Club has made me realize the importance of self-development, personal growth, and how I can contribute back to the society. For that, in this year, June, I called a volunteer organization that I want to serve them. So they called me for an interview. Thanks to the table topic session, I aced it. Initially, I was looking for some trivial task, but they wanted me to be a course in charge of their upcoming course. And I reluctantly said yes, as always. So this was the information that they gave me about the course. This will be an online course. All the classes will be conducted on Zoom, and they use WhatsApp for better communication. The upcoming course will be SQ23. That means 22 batches have graduated, which means that this institute and this whole process is quite mature. Number 3 was the largest batch they ever had was of 35 students. Number 4, all the course material is available online. They have a well-established working up and about website, mobile apps, both for Android and iOS. And the duration of the course will be 3 years, twice a week, 3 hours per class. Up till now, I was quite comfortable and I was confident that yes, I can do it. But I faced few issues and problems. Number 1, because of the COVID and this course being an online course, 180 plus students registered. Now just make a comparison of 35 and 180 plus students. Obviously, this institute also, it was also a panic situation for them, but they urged to accommodate all of them, because they said that it's an online course and with better management, we can accommodate all of them. Third issue was that the official Zoom ID that they gave me can handle only 100 participants at a time. Fourth was that me being a course in charge, I need to be in touch with all the students. I am responsible for answering their queries, for marking their attendance, paper checking, and obviously maintaining their marks and all stuff and everything. And fifth and most important thing, that I did not have a team. And teamwork is something that is being drilled in us by Toastmasters. So these were the few steps that I took to resolve all these issues. Number 1, 185 plus students. So I divided the whole batch into 2 groups. Number 1, SQ23A, and I call them SQ23A and SQ23B. And I further divided SQ23A and B each into 10 groups of students. And I call those 10 groups mini groups. And I'll explain later on why and what is the purpose of it. Then I asked the whole, the staff, the institute, for a team, because as we are being taught here in Toastmaster that without a team you cannot work properly, and we have seen it many times. So I asked them for 18 staff members, and I assign each group in charge a mini group. This one, 10 in charges for 10 groups and 19 charges, 18 group in charges for 18 mini groups. And I assigned their roles and responsibilities, and delegated my duties to them. Now these group in charges are responsible for maintaining attendance, for marking their papers and paper checking, and maintaining all their marks. I'm sorry? Okay. So can you please mute yourself? Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Rajamani. Yes, now I delegated all my roles and responsibilities to these mini group in charges. And they were maintaining their attendance, their paper checking, and their marks and everything. This is now something humanly possible. Me, I cannot this cannot be a one-man show. Another important step I took was how to handle data. It was a huge data. Consider 185 students, 18 staff members, me as a course in charge, then a few members from the admin as well. So it was around 200 plus data, and I was provided only with the Google Sheet, containing all the context and information. So I first assigned each entry with codes like course name, course name, group name, if it's a staff member or a group in charge, or from someone from the admin. So anybody randomly calls me, I exactly know who he or she is, and from where she is calling. And it made me easy to filter out data. Then I imported the whole contacts, Google contacts from Google Sheet, and downloaded the CSV file and imported on the Zoom account. This way, my Google Sheets, my Google account, my contacts, my Zoom contacts, and my WhatsApp contacts and groups all were synced. And then the thing was about the coordination. For coordination, I urged all the staff members, my staff members, to have bi-monthly meetings so that we can share, communicate for better communication and coordination, and we can discuss all the queries and difficulties that the students are facing, or whatever, or if there are difficulties at the staff members as well. I made 3 WhatsApp groups. One for the main group, one is main group, which is for SQ23A and SQ23B. And this group is only for announcements. No one else other than me can, or few staff members, can reply on it. Then I made group in charges WhatsApp group. All the group in charges, we discuss everything here on this platform. And the third was 18 WhatsApp group, mini WhatsApp groups. And these 18 WhatsApp groups, here you can see that this 10 groups, 10 students will have one group in charge, me, and of course a few persons from admin, and this will make their mini WhatsApp group. Now, in this way, I can be in touch with all my 185 students, with my staff members, and with the admin as well. And I have a better picture of whatever is going on. So now, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot going at my end. But from this hustle and bustle, I've learned a very valuable lesson, that whenever you come out of your shell, you witness great things. And I'm very proud to come out of my shell. Thank you, Toastmaster Club, and thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster Salman.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rakyathari, for wonderful elaborations. Hello, Toastmasters and guests. Moving on to our last prepared speaker, because time is tough. And the last speaker is another amazing speaker, Toastmaster Humayun Piani, and his speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Rehana Afzal. Toastmaster Rehana Afzal, can you explain the objectives and purpose of this speech?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Salman. Thank you so much. Toastmaster Humayun will be delivering Project 1, Level 2. The name of project is Know Your Sense of Humor. Purpose is to collect humorous stories and present a 5 to 7 minute speech that includes humor. Back to you, Toastmaster Salman.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rehana. Toastmaster Humayun Piani, please, can you please pin the timer so that you can focus on time during your speech?
Am I audible, Toastmaster Salman?
Yes, you are audible and looking good as well. Can you see the card?
Can you see the card?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. In this way, I can see the card.
Just keep an eye on the timer.
Best of luck with your speech. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Salman. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, to err is a human. Yes, it is rightly said that as human beings, we make tremendous mistakes in our life. What do you think about yourself? I know that there isn't even a single person in this world who can claim that I haven't made any mistake in my life. But the problem arises when we are not going to accept our mistakes. That is why we do not grow. So here, I'm just going to talk about myself. One of my mistakes where I was proud of. But unfortunately, I met setbacks. One of the things which I always mention about myself is that I am a smart guy. Yes, I say this thing to me. Although it is rubbish, but most of the time I claim this thing. So Toastmaster Hassan, what do you think about yourself? Are you a smart guy?
I am smart and bad at the same time.
Yes, I was expecting the same answer from you. Because as Toastmasters, sometimes we become more conscious and we start behaving like overconfident. So I always say that I rely upon my memory. Yes, I say that I can cram each and everything. I do not have any problem regarding my memory. And to some extent, I was absolutely right. So here I'm just going to let you know one of the incidents of my family life. What happened? A friend of mine called me up and he asked me that, "Hi buddy, how are you?" I said, "I'm fine." He said, "We are coming to you." Oh, I said, "Welcome, welcome, more welcome." But suddenly he announced that I am coming with my family and we know that your missus cook biryani very well. So he ordered, rather he requested to ask my missus to cook biryani for them. As I know that this is the favorite dish of mine as well. So would you like to come at my home and take biryani?
Yes.
Okay, but wait for a while. As it is the problem of each and every husband. Let me ask from my missus. She is cooking something in the kitchen. But let me take a permission from her, then I will also invite all of you. But at that particular time, he called me up and he asked me that they are coming. So I asked my missus that they are coming and we need to cook biryani for them. So suddenly she was agreed, as we were also planning to cook something special for us. So it was a great occasion when we are inviting the guests and we are doing something for them. So she asked me that, "Humayun, just take out a notebook and start writing the items which I am just going to ask you to bring from the market." So suddenly I again went into that phase. Yes, I said, "No, I don't need it. I have a strong memory." Yes, I have got strong memory. I can cram each and everything. So she is really asking me time and again, "No, you will forget there are a lot of things." There were more than 20 items which I have to purchase from the market. But I was consistently opposing her. So suddenly, I was not expecting the thing which happened with me. Yes, I know you are curious to listen to it, but I will disclose it later on. So I was not listening to her, and she told me almost 20 things which I have to bring from the market. So I was extremely happy that now I am going to market. Then I went to the market and I started purchasing the items. So I took all the items by using my memory. So it was a great task for me that I want to achieve, as I also want to impress my wife. As you know, it is not an easy task to impress your wife, but I was consistently focusing upon this particular task. So I asked the storekeeper, just give me all the things one by one. And I started recollecting each and every item. So I took all the things, onions, potatoes, tomatoes, zira, and there are so many things which I have to purchase. And suddenly I got all the things. I was very much happy and I went to my home. When I reached my home, I gave all the items to my kid and he delivered it to my missus. So we were very happy. I started watching the TV like this. Yes, I was enjoying. I was confident. But suddenly, there was a noise. Yes. I was surprised. What is happening over there? Yes. She asked me, just come here. So I went there. I was proud of me. But suddenly she asked me that, just tell me the thing which you have just taken from the market. I again started saying those items. But unfortunately, she was saying that, where is the rice? Yes, the main item which I forgot to bring from the market. So at that particular time, I came to know that we should not boost off our confidence. We should not rely upon our memory. So we need to understand the philosophy of hadith, where it is said that whenever you want to say something, whenever you want to keep in your mind, just write it down. So here, my friends, I recommend you to write down each and everything which can help you in removing all your problems. Over to you, Toastmaster Salman.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Toastmaster Salman is everyone who's qualified. Can you please share your report? Just tell the name of the person who are qualified. You can go their names.
Unfortunately, all the guest speakers have exceeded the limit of the speech.
All the speakers?
Yes. Almost all speakers have speeches about 7 minutes and 30 seconds.
It means everybody is disqualified.
Yes.
I'm sure this is one of the unfortunate events, stressful events. Okay. Fellow Toastmasters, then, yes, we are done with prepared speeches, and unfortunately, everyone is disqualified. But better luck next time. Going on to our last segment of the meeting, which is about the citing and education section, the evaluations and feedback session. And to conduct this session, I would like to invite one of our energetic, full of sense of humor, Toastmaster Akash Wall. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Salman Hussain. My fellow Toastmasters, we go to gym. What we do in gym?
Flex our muscles.
Okay, and what we live there? Eggs. Yes. And that makes our muscles big. Sorry, I don't have muscles like Toastmasters.
I am frustrated.
Okay. Here in Toastmasters, we lift people. And that's how they grow. And how we lift people? By giving feedback. So they can work on that feedback, they reflect on themselves, and they can improve. So I will be the general evaluator, and I will be giving the general evaluation as a whole in the last, at the end. First, I would like to call our table topic evaluator to lift our table topic speaker. He is an engineer by profession, he's working in jazz, and I found him super dynamic, super active volunteer. So with your huge round of applause, table topic evaluator, Toastmaster Suhaib Athal.
Thank you, Toastmaster Taj, for such a nice introduction. So today I'm the table topic evaluator. So before jumping to the participants, I would like to congratulate Toastmaster Danial for conducting table topic in such a professional and engaging way. The thing that I really like that you engage the audience just giving the 4 words and the biryani that you're giving feedback over after every participant. So just let's move towards the first speaker. The first 2 speakers, in fact, Toastmaster Akash and Toastmaster Anas. Both are very professional seasoned Toastmasters. I haven't noticed anything the weak area, but one thing that I felt you were lacking is about that you had very good eye contact towards all the audience, but you were missing the corner side. Like I was sitting over there and I showed that you were not looking over there. And secondly, you should have like since the COVID came, we have moved towards the like hybrid system. So you haven't had the attention that there is online audience. So sometimes you can just steer for this mobile phone so they can have like you are directly contacted to them. So this is a little area of improvement for to you guys. The next we have Toastmaster Hassan. Toastmaster Hassan, a few suggestions for you. Although you are very confident on the stage, but one thing that your movement on the stage is not controlled. That can distract the like you come on there, you say starting your story and you also moving like with them. So this thing you can control. The next we have Toastmaster Umar. Toastmaster Umar has come a long way. He has improved phenomenal. The one thing that you can engage, when you can do, you can ask the question with the audience. That can engage the audience. Like you were, the question given to you, like Toastmaster has been stuck in the supermarket. So you can just ask the audience, what do you think that why Toastmaster has stuck? So this thing has given the flavor, or you can say aroma. The next we have Guest Anam. Guest Anam, although she hasn't joined Toastmaster yet, but she is very confident. On the stage, she has a very good body language and eye gesture. A few suggestions for you is you can engage the audience, like by asking the question. And one thing also that your stage movement wasn't confined. Sometimes you were moving randomly, so that can distract the audience. The next we have Toastmaster Amrina. Toastmaster Amrina performed very good. Gave a very good overview of the topic. The one thing that I would also encourage to inculcate the vocal variety and ask the question from the audience. Rest you were like monotone, so there was no excitement in your speech. The next we have Toastmaster Sir. Toastmaster Sir, although you just spoke to the topic very well, one suggestion for you, you can turn on your video so we can the people can see you and the evaluator can evaluate you better. Rest, all in all, perform very well, and kudos to all the people who came on the stage and just challenged their fear of public speaking. With this, I would like to call Toastmaster Akash.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topic Evaluator. Now we move to the prepared speech evaluation section. The first speech was given by Toastmaster Amrina, and for her evaluation, evaluation, I would like to call on the stage the big man with the big thinking, with the big vision, and of course with the big muscles, who not only lift people, who lift weight in the gym as well. So with your huge round of applause, Toastmaster Hassan Akram.
Gracias por darme la oportunidad, which means thank you for giving me the opportunity to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Amrina. There's one word that is coming in my mind is wow, what a fantastic speech it was. The way you started the speech was simply amazing. Even if someone was looking at the mobile, after you start, they would listen to you. That's how some speakers coming. The way you engage the audience was amazing because when you are on the floor and you are about to start a speech, asking a question is always good. It helps in brainstorming, and if, as I said, if someone is sitting idle and not attentive, he or she can actually, we can actually grab the audience and of course ask questions. So that was amazing. The speech was very informative. Before this speech, I had no clue about different culture of Spain, and I mean, the way you actually took us from PWD straight to Spain without any ticket was amazing. And for the 5 to 7 minutes, I was not here. I was physically here, but mentally I was in Spain. I was enjoying the bullfight. I was enjoying the dance. So that was amazing. And on top of that, the slides which is displayed was amazing. The content was really good. The things were visible, and that grabbed the audience. Of course, with every good speech, there are few areas of improvement, and of course, we can work on those part and help improve making the speech better. And as per the international Toastmaster guidelines, there are certain features or certain things which you need to look at when you are developing a speech. So the number one is the voice clarity. So out of 1 to 5, I would rate it 5 because the voice clarity was amazing. It was clear. For eye contact, I would rate you 2 or 3 because sometimes you were looking at the audience, but sometimes you were looking at the back. So that is something which you can improve on. The vocal variety, I would give you 4 marks. It was good, but sometimes you need to put some more emphasis on certain statements. So out of 5, it's 4. Gestures were good. One thing was missing the stage movement. When you transition from one idea to the other, it's always recommended to move the stage so that you are not stagnant on the stage. Rest, I loved your speech. Everything was amazing, and hasta la vista. Thank you.
The next person I would like to call on the virtual stage. She is a person who works in KPMG, one of the big 3, and she is so gracious, English gracious, okay, to give you a treat. Whenever you go to her and you ask that you want a treat, so you can bet it. With your huge round of applause, Toastmaster Sarah for the evaluation of Toastmaster Umar.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Akash. Did you say that I always give treats?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, please do not believe him on that matter. Well, good evening, everyone. And thank you so much for having me, and apologies for not being able to switch on my camera today. Moving on to the evaluation, it is a pleasure to evaluate Toastmaster Umar's speech. I have always personally loved to listen to him on the stage, and today also we witnessed a very well-researched speech. Toastmaster Umar, you started with a question, which is one of the best ways to engage the audience immediately. And you did not just engage the audience in the start of the speech, but you maintained it throughout by keep asking the questions later on in the in the body of the speech as well. Then what I really liked about your speech was that it was thoroughly well researched and structured as well. You started off with telling that how many cardiovascular diseases are there, then the causes of it. Then you moved on to the solution, and that too in a well-researched and explained manner. You explained the efficiency of the solutions themselves using the authenticated studies, which itself shows that you did your research well, and you were literally very interested in giving actual information to the audience and leaving the stage today with a something that would actually help the audience that you're addressing today. Then what you also mentioned the sources of the information as you were giving it away. For example, you mentioned WHO, which is a very renowned source of information for in regards of health sector. This added credibility to your speech, and this is one of the key feature that is required in a research based speech. So I would really appreciate you on that. And another distinct element of your speech was that you added a personal touch to it by adding your own pictures, which was setting an example and engaging the audience on a personal level, so it can there are greater chances that it will leave an impact for later on. One thing that was also very appreciative was the presentation itself. The presentation could have been distracting in this subject, because if the slides themselves are filled with information in a paragraph form, they can either leave the audience disinterested or distracted. So the presentation itself was neat and brief and was very well displayed. Only one area of improvement that I would like to add would be the improvement of voice modulation. For example, when you started off, you could have spoken in a slow and soft manner when you mentioned that how many people die every hour. There could have been a pause while giving out that information to give the audience time to sink that information in. And then moving on, you could have been turned into an encouraging and enthusiastic manner. You could have mentioned, but we have a solution to the problem, and this, then you could have gone on. And then in the last, you could have ended with a more enthusiastic call to action, so that everyone would, an audience would have been so encouraged and pumped up to start a healthy lifestyle there and then at that point. Overall, it was a very well structured, amazing speech, and love to hear it. Thank you so much. Back to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmasters, sir, and I am flabbergasted the way you summarized all the points. So the third speech was given by Toastmaster Rabia Tahir, and her speech will be evaluated by a person who coincidentally also works in KPMG. He is our past area director, and he is one of a very humble guy. He's one of the humble guy I have met in my whole life. So with your huge round of applause, the prepared speech evaluator, Toastmaster Anas Mansoor.
Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator, for a very humbling introduction. Distinguished guests and fellow Toastmasters, it is heartening to see people growing Toastmasters. And today we witness such an occasion. Toastmaster Rabia produced an amazing speech today. The best thing about her speech that I loved was calmness on stage, on virtual stage. Although there were so many things that I simply loved about her speech, I will narrow down it to 4. First of all, the way she started the speech. She started by questioning. She said, how many of you have noticed that I have started using the word get out of the shell? And everyone thought that, okay, whether I have heard this from her or not. So all of us were engaged. Secondly, she started with the story that initially she never used to take the risk, but now as she is getting out of her shell, she took this opportunity of leading a course, and she took us all along this journey where she also had difficulties. First of all, the number of participants, there were more than 150 participants, it was unprecedented. Secondly, the Zoom limitation of 100 participants, and she had to manage each and every one. So then she moved on the solution part. She divided into two groups and then subdivided into a group of 10 each. And the team building skills that she learned from Toastmasters, she made sure that she applied in her course as well. And that eventually worked tremendously well. Her confidence, as I said before, was tremendous throughout her speech. Even when during her speech, there was a distraction from an online participant, she was confident and she was back on track immediately when the distraction was gone. So this is high quality of a very calm speaker. Last but not the least, the conclusion part. She summed up her story that if you are getting out of your shell, great things will happen to you. Now, in every speech, there are some areas of improvement. In my humble opinion, first area of improvement was the engagement part. I think that more questions could have been asked during the speech that how many of you have encountered this situation in your life? This helps audience to get engaged. Time management was an issue. A bit of more practice really helps in managing time. Third, vocal variety and adding a bit of drama. For example, and guess what? There were more than 150 people. Thought that, how will I manage? Now, this vocal variety helps to connect with the audience. Overall, it was a fabulous speech to keep giving these amazing speeches.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anas, for such a brief evaluation. The next speech was given by our YouTube sensation, and let me say that he is turning into a humorous sensation. And his speech will be evaluated by a person who is doctor by profession. She is the VPE of Cloud 122. She is the secretary of Rawalpindi Toastmasters Club. And she just became the club sponsor of a new form club, that is Motion Lodi Toastmasters Club. A very humble person. With a huge round of applause, Toastmaster Rehana Afzal.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Akash, for the introduction. I am truly humbled. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Humayun, for telling us to err is human. You told us that all of us make mistakes and there is a problem. We do not accept our mistakes. I truly loved your speech, Toastmaster Humayun. The first thing that I loved about your speech was the smile. It was the smile of a child who was thinking of something that was naughty, and that smile was on your face throughout your speech. Secondly, you hooked audience by addressing them. What do you think about yourself? You called Toastmaster Hassan and asked him, are you a smart guy? Third thing, your body language. I've already told you the smile on your face, I loved it, and it was there throughout the speech. Your hand gestures, when you told us, I rely on my memory, you pointed towards your head. The fourth amazing thing about your speech was your storytelling. You are a master storyteller and you incorporated humor at several places that you were keeping in view the purpose of your project. Like you said, I believe I'm a smart guy, and we could see the smile on your face. You told Hassan that he also thinks that he's a smart guy. You asked audience if they want to come for biryani at your place, and then you said, wait, there's a problem that every husband has. Let me ask my wife. Then in the end, when you forgot to bring rice, but where is rice, dear? Every good speech can be made even better speech. There are few recommendations, Toastmaster Humayun. The first thing, if we deliver speech while standing, we can use the stage, especially when there is a dialogue that helps us change our position and that helps the audience to see that there is a dialogue going on between more than one person. Second thing, vocal variety. When you said that problem of every husband, you could have come closer to the camera and then you could have said, let me ask my missus. Then when you said, I'm going to market, you actually said it in a singing tone that I loved. And a little suggestion, you could have held a shopping bag that would have helped us see that you are really going for shopping. Then when you said, but where is rice? You could have mimicked the tone of your missus. In short, it was a wonderful speech. I enjoyed it. There was bucket load of humor, little work on vocal variety, and try to deliver your speech while standing. Over to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rehana. Now the time for prepared speech evaluation session is over. It's time for the reports. I would like to call our counter to present his report. Toastmaster Suhaib Akhtar.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akash. So because time is short, I will just call out the person who has just uttered the hours. Toastmaster has been 2 times, Toastmaster 7 2 times, Toastmaster Daniel 3 times. Over to you, Toastmaster Akash.
Thank you, Toastmaster Suhaib, for your report. Now I will request the timer to present her report.
Yes, all evaluators are qualified and have given their evaluation with time.
Okay, you can tell the time now. Just be quick and tell us the time.
I think it's totally 15 minutes. Per person. Okay. For the prepared speeches, Hassan Akram has taken 2 minutes 31 seconds. Saran has taken 3 minutes 27 seconds. TM Anas Mansoor has taken 3 minutes 18 seconds. And TM Rehana Kausar has taken 3 minutes 24 seconds. And TM Shuaib Akhtar for table topics evaluation, he has taken 3 minutes 5 seconds. For general evaluation, TM Akash Kumar has taken 1 minute 12 seconds.
Okay.
Thank you for your report. Now I will request Toastmaster Saira to present her demanding report.
Thank you, General Evaluator TM Akash. The first credit goes to you for the analogy of a drama and referring to yourself and Daniel. This was a good analogy, good use of analogy. Then TM Daniel used the word of lamp, and TM Saral had a good imagination to ask if it is a lamp or a lantern. So I like that imagination. We should be careful about the use of propositions and is always used with a vowel. Then you people, there's no need to add people over here. Even you is enough. The good ones were eustress, the word eustress and its Greek origin. That was a good addition. And of course, TM Umbrina, she started with in Spanish. That was a good idea. Spanish words, siesta, patio, those are all good words. Word of the week was used by TM Akash and TM Umar only. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Gamarian. Now I will request the timer. Can you please confirm all the evaluators are qualified?
Yes.
Okay, please vote for the best evaluator.
First for today's sessions are TM Akash, the general evaluator.
The speech evaluators.
Prepared speeches. So prepared speeches evaluators for today's session are TM Hassan Akram, TM Saral, TM Anas Mansoor, and TM Rehana. And tabletop topics evaluator is TM Suhail.
Okay, thank you, Madam Timer, for your report. Let's have a round of applause for her again. So it's time for me now to evaluate this meeting generally. So my fellow Toastmasters, what I said in the beginning, what we lived here in Toastmasters?
Members.
Yes, members. And I was flabbergasted. 4 speakers were disqualified and everyone is clapping. And that's how we are lifting people. Can you see the beauty of it? Can you see the beauty of Toastmasters? No one is discouraging you. Even you are disqualified, they are clapping for you, that it's okay. You can improve next time. So the meeting started exactly on 4:32 and we have improved in the timing. That's a good thing. I would like to commend on it. The welcome address by the sergeant at arms was very energetic. And the presidential address, I would like to say that, wow. The theme of the presidential address was the mindset of a winner. And I love the way he transitioned his presidential address from winner mindset that I would like to announce the winners of the last meeting. So that was brilliantly done, Toastmaster Hassan Akram. The theme of the meeting, that is stress management, and I was wow, the way Toastmaster, even the theme of the meeting was stress management. It defined what is stress management. It defined different terminology. And even in such a theme, we all observed that there was laughter. Engaged the members in such a way that we are laughing. So that was brilliantly done, Toastmaster Salman Hussain. And the way you described meeting segments through the slides, that is another brilliant idea. The meeting was handed over to table topic master, and the table topic master was brilliant with his imaginative table topics issue. And literally we all went into imaginations. So the prepared speeches were extraordinary, and today we have witnessed the different mixture of types of speeches. There were informative speech by Toastmaster Arena on multi-class culture. There was an inspirational speech on healthy living style. There was reflection on the leadership, the volunteer leadership by Toastmaster Rabia. And there was again an engaging, humorous speech by Toastmaster Humayun. The evaluators used the sandwich approach. These were the good things, but there are few areas of improvements. What I would recommend, though the meeting started on time, it was exactly on 4:32, and the technical setup was arranged on time, but there were guests, and the mics of those guests were unmuted. But I would like to recommend that there is an option in the Zoom, in the settings, that you can turn off the entrance on their entry. So when a technical host is sitting there, he or she can allow the speakers to speak. Another thing I would like to recommend to the president is to conduct business sessions. You know, in Toastmasters, we have a slogan where leaders are made. So that's how we can groom our members when we go to area level, division level, or district level, or maybe who knows, if any one of us, I'm just speaking generally, goes to the parliament, there are motions. So you must be aware what types of motions we have. So we can have motions on different things like changing the timing, changing the order of speeches, changing the number of speeches in agenda. When we have motion, every member of the club feels involved. that the decision making has been made by taking us into the loop. It feels a part of the club, the decision making. So another thing I would like to recommend that the transitions between the segments were brilliant, but there is great time. How many of you are aware of the great time in Toastmasters? The time which cannot be judged, like we started on 4:32, but we are going at 7 p.m. So where we have exaggerated the time, that is the great time in Toastmasters meeting, and that's not that what we cannot implement just in Toastmasters meeting, we can implement in professional life as well. Everyone has a time, even the general evaluator has a time, and I know the Toastmaster is showing that you are, and that is a very good habit. That is a very good trait. Every person, every role player is responsible for the time. Like one prepared speaker is exaggerated his time, the allotted time. He is exaggerating the meeting time. If the Toastmaster of the evening is exaggerating his time, stepping out of his time, he is adding the meeting time. So every role player is responsible. The best way to do is to look in the agenda. What time is allotted to you as a role player? And for that, I would like to recommend the timer that please time, even the president is addressing. He has a allotted time in the agenda. The timer can show to the president that Mr. President, the time is over. You have the green card, then you have the red card. Another thing I would like to recommend, the table topics, though they were imaginative, but I would recommend that call the small role player first, because they are the ones who don't have who will not get enough opportunity to speak in the meeting. What I would like to recommend that start from the small role players like our counter, like timer, then move to the guests. Then if there are, then you can do that if we have short attenders, we can call the big three or the prepared speakers, because these are the ones who have enough time to, they are being given opportunity to speak on the stage. The last thing I would like to recommend is follow the COVID SOP. Because as a Toastmaster, we are like a family, and we have to care for every one of us who is present here. Because it's like a family. And how we can do it? We can by putting the mask on in the meeting. I know that for some people it's quite difficult, but it can save lives. It can save your life, it can save the life of people around you. So overall, it was a wonderful meeting, and looking forward to enjoy more meetings of Rawalpindi Toastmasters Club. That's all from my side. I would like to call the vote counter to please collect the vote of big trees. And the big tree were Toastmaster Salman, Toastmaster Danyal, and the person who is standing here, Toastmaster Akash. Over to you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much, Akash, for such a detailed evaluation of the overall meeting. Since we are short on time, so I would quickly take the feedback from the guests. Raja Mujib, can you hear me, and can you unmute yourself and share your experience of the overall meeting? Raja Mujib, can you hear me? I think we don't hear my voice. With this, we don't have any other guests, right? With this, Anam, if you would like to share the feedback of your meeting. Sorry?
so much, Toastmaster Hassan, for inviting me. And it was really, really wonderful experience. And I would like to use a word of the day, that is flabbergasted. All four speakers, they were marvelous, magnificent. Their speeches were well organized, though they exceeded the time limit. That is, I don't think so. It makes a difference, but it's fine. And apart from that, what I wanted to say that as one of the speakers said that we need to come out of our shell. So I think so when we come here, when we sit together, when we talk and when we share our experiences, it means that we are coming out of our shell. We are taking interest in this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and looking forward to having you in the meetings. With this, it's time for the results. Certificates. You guys can ask Mujib. Mujib, can you hear me? All right, so there's no suspense today because of the time, so we can already announce the winners. So the best table topic award goes to Toastmaster Anas Mansoor. And the best evaluator award goes to Toastmaster Sway Butter. And the Big Three award goes to Toastmaster Akash. With this, I'm going to adjourn this meeting and looking forward to see you next Saturday, same time, same venue. Let's gather for the group photo.